So what's it really like to live in San Clemente? Well, in this video, I put together the ultimate guide for things that you need to do and places that you need to visit, just like you were a San Clemente local. Hey, my name is Ryan Schramm. I am the broker and owner of Ryan Schramm Real Estate here in San Clemente. I specifically created this channel to be a resource for all things San Clemente, so if you like it, subscribe to the channel and stay tuned on my most current content. All right, so getting back to it, there are endless videos online of things you can do in San Clemente if you were a tourist, but there really isn't anything as more of a locals guide. What I'm gonna give you today is kind of what you should check out and then things to completely avoid, and it's from my experience living here. So let's first start off with the areas and the things that you absolutely have to check out here. All right, first off, you gotta check out the pier. Now, the pier might be a huge attraction for tourists, but it's still an awesome place for locals. You might want to avoid the pier if you don't wanna fight for parking. During those summer months, that's when it's most busy. Right now, we're filming this in July, and the pier is bananas. It's hard for anybody to park down there. So peak times, avoid, but let's say you're coming down in the fall, that's definitely a place you want to check out. Walk the pier. The beach trail is right at the base of the pier. The famous Fisherman Seafood and Bar is on the pier, which is a great spot if it's not too busy. And it's just one of those iconic locations that I still visit, you know, every few weeks or so. I make it a priority to just go walk the pier, because when you get out on the end of the pier, it's like being on the bow of a boat or something. It's just different than being on the beach. The sounds are different, the sights are different. I love it, and it's definitely a spot to check out. So San Clemente is obviously home to some awesome beaches. T Street Beach, a very popular beach. It's nice because it has public parking, and it's also nice because there's a pedestrian bridge. So every beach you have to cross the tracks one way or another, and the T Street pedestrian access is super easy. Stairs, and at the base of the stairs there's showers. There's a killer little restaurant down there, or cafe, whatever you want to call it, that took over the old snack shop called West Toast. And then there's bathrooms. So naturally, with all those kind of amenities and the parking, T Street gets super crowded in the summers. It would be difficult to find any space to spread out there, so you might want to avoid during the summertime. Maybe go walk a few 100 feet or 100 yards to a spot that's a little less crowded. So whether you want to get a light walk in or you're looking to jog or sprint, the San Clemente Beach Trail is something you've got to check out. The trail starts in North Beach and it works its way all the way down to State Beach. It's about 2.5 miles long, and it's made up of decomposed granite, dirt pathway, and boardwalk in certain sections. It's also important to note, no e-bikes. You can ride a mountain bike, but no electric bikes. You'll get a ticket for that, and it's just not quite the safest thing to do anymore with the way that people ride, so be careful of that. The beach trail is cool because the views are awesome. It's literally between the coastal bluff and the waves, just inside of the sand. So you're walking along the beach, and it's just one of those things that if you're visiting or if you're moving here, you've got to check it out. So last thing on my list for you, downtown San Clemente. It's super special. The vibe down there is one of a small town village atmosphere by the sea, and it's just so unique and special because you've got Avenida Del Mar, which runs kind of up from the pier, and it comes into the old PCH, which is El Camino Real in San Clemente. That atmosphere of all the boutiques and the restaurants, and the traffic is slower, and it's all lined with these pretty trees, and you know you're only a few 100 yards from the beach. It just makes it one of those iconic special locations that really never gets old. I love visiting our downtown. I go there for breakfast. I go there for dinner with my wife. I shop there on Christmas. That's where I do our Christmas shopping. Because when you're here, that small town vibe is something that residents, you know, it resonates with them. So I don't like to go to the big box malls or venture too far to do my shopping and to do my, you know, my restaurants and things like that. It's cool to kind of soak that in and enjoy that, because there's really not that much of the small town vibe left in this world anymore. So we just discussed the list of places you need to visit. Now let's look at the activities you need to try, starting with with the Ridgeline Trail. That is a mountain bike and hiking trail network that runs all throughout San Clemente. If you want a super in-depth look at it, check out this video that I filmed on the Ridgeline Trail. It's absolutely something you have to check out. Once you get to the top of that Ridgeline Trail, it's one of the highest vantage points. You're looking out at San Clemente Island, Catalina Island, into Dana Point Harbor. You can see all the way up to Long Beach. And then if you turn around and you look the other direction, it's just this vast network of hills and valleys that is Camp Pendleton land and the old ranch land behind Talega. It's just a spectacular place to get out. I really love it in the wintertime too, because the air is super clear. You go up there after a rain, when the sun comes out, you might see some snow-capped mountains. You can see all the way to Mount Baldy at the base of the San Gabriel Valley. So it's just a super special place to go take a hike. You can exercise up there. When I do it, I usually like to walk fast, and there's certain sections that I sprint, so I make a workout out of it. But it's very, very cool. And check out that other video that I linked right here, because you can see where to access that Ridgeline Trail and all the different spots that it reaches. And of course, a video on San Clemente and things to do would not be complete without mentioning the surfing. The surfing here in San Clemente is world class. There are so many spots for all different types of surfing. You've got places like Sano, Trestles, T Street, and so many others. It's such a well-rounded place for outdoor living and outdoor activities. Like we mentioned, the hiking and the mountain biking on the Ridgeline Trail, all the water sport activities, the surfing, the diving, the surf fishing that you can do. It's just an amazing place to live, and that's why I love it. Now finally, we're gonna mention one other activity in San Clemente, which is golfing. San Clemente has a few different golf courses, most of them being public courses. There is one private club in San Clemente called Bella Colina, which is a really cool spot, but our municipal city golf course is loved by so many. It's an 18-hole. As a resident, you can play it after a certain time, and it's only, I think, 22 bucks, which is a great deal. And I have friends that play that course that they played all over the world, and it's still their hometown spot that they love so much. And you also have the Talega Golf Course, which is a little bit higher end and open to the public. They've got some really cool clubhouse stuff going on there, and a private little brunch spot that is reservation only. That's a little insider local tip for you. So definitely check that out. Really great golfing options in San Clemente as well. All right, so this next category is definitely one of my favorites. It's places to eat and drink. Now, if you're looking for a killer breakfast, definitely check out Antoine's Cafe. It's smaller and it can get busy, but it's definitely worth the wait. They have inside seating, which is kind of like that classic diner feel. They also have some outside seating available too, and things move fast there. So if there is a wait, don't be discouraged, check it out. So if you're looking for a great place for a date night now, I've got to give a shout out to the Vine. My wife and I have been eating there for years. We absolutely love it. I actually hung out with my friend Gabe, one of the partners and owners of the Vine. We went all through the restaurant. You can check that out here. I have it linked. But that's a very special spot, and you can dress up and have a great dinner there, or you can go a little bit more casual like this. It's just the most well-rounded spot with a great vibe, and I'm excited for you to take a look at that one. Now, if you're more of a wine person, the San Clemente Wine Company, that's an awesome spot to go in and get a bottle of wine and then walk to dinner on Avenida Del Mar. But they also have some great charcuterie boards there. You can hang out, you can get a tap beer. If you're a member, they have their quarterly wine selections, so you can do your tasting. I get tons and tons of bottles of wine for my clients from the wine company. It's just a super laid back spot to hang out and enjoy some wine. And did you know that San Clemente has a really nice brewery selection now? My office up here in the San Clemente Business Park is right next to Artifacts, which is a great brewery. They have their kind of flagship location up here, and they also have a tasting room on Del Mar. Another great brewery up here, Lost Winds. That's a spot, they have games, they have a huge bar, they often have a food truck that shows up. And then right across the street from my office is a distillery. They also have beer that's called Drift. So there's a great little network. I didn't mention a couple too, but there's a great little network of 5 or 6 breweries up here where you could totally think of like a Saturday afternoon and do a brewery crawl up here in the business park. And that's a really, really fun activity as well. And lastly, and maybe most importantly, what's worth avoiding or not checking out when you're in San Clemente, or something that's just overhyped, I have a couple of things for you. So the first thing on my list of places to avoid would be the San Clemente outlets. They're a more recent addition to San Clemente. I'm not saying it's terrible, but it's definitely overhyped. I found that I don't use the outlets all that much. There is a movie theater which is there, and that's fine and that's cool. And the Asada restaurant is up there, which is a spot that if I am going to the outlets, I'm probably going there because of Asada. But it gets busy, and it's just a location that it doesn't have that San Clemente charm. Again, not terrible, but a place that I think is overhyped and I typically try to avoid. All right, secondly, a place to avoid. I really had to dig deep for this one because there really isn't that much to avoid in San Clemente. It's gonna be the DMV. We have a DMV in San Clemente in Shore Cliffs. I actually had to go there yesterday, and I have a AAA membership for the sole benefit that I don't have to go to the DMV. You know what? I'm not gonna knock them too much because it wasn't that bad, I guess. It took me like an hour and a half to get an updated registration, but that's definitely a place I'm gonna try and avoid. I think it's been like 10 years since I last had to go there, and I'm good for maybe once a decade. Definitely try and stay out of the DMV if you can avoid it. All right, so that sums it up. That's kind of a beginner's local guide for you on things that I've experienced. If you have any questions, or if you're thinking about moving here and you found this entertaining and you want to kind of go a step further and explore some of the real estate here and the housing options, I have a really great website that I can set you up on and start to show you some of the communities and the properties. So reach out to me, shoot me a text or shoot me an email, and I'll get back to you in 24 hours. I'd love to connect. Talk to you soon.